Russia's war on Ukraine. It is day 50 now of the invasion. Some top Ukrainian officials are today claiming what would be a major victory, saying that Ukrainian forces have badly damaged the flagship of the Russian Navy in the Black Sea. Here are recent satellite images that show the guided missile cruiser called the Moskva. The technology company Maxar is saying the pictures were taken last week and show the warship in a port, the port of Sevastopol. And another image from a few days later in the Black Sea. Right now, Russia's defense ministry is saying there was an explosion and fire on board and that the crew had to abandon ship. But that's our starting point for coverage from Katie Simpson, who's on the story for us from Lviv. Two sides very clearly to this story, Katie. One version of events from Ukraine, one from Russia. In fact, some new headlines moving on Russian media. Sorry, just hold on. We'll come back to that in just a second. But on the ship, what are we hearing today?
Well, Heather, one thing I should say before we start this report is that Canada has one of the largest populations of Ukrainians outside of Ukraine. And behind me, there is a billboard that has some profanities in Ukrainian. So I just want to point that out, and apologies for profanities early this morning, but it relates directly to this story, and that is why we are here in front of a liquor store today in a part of Lviv, near the outskirts of Lviv. Now, this story, if the Ukrainian version of events here is true, it would not just be a significant offensive strike, but it would be a major symbolic win for Ukraine. We are 50 days into this war, and no one had thought Ukraine would be able to hold on the way it has. And if this, on the 50th day of this fight, if this story turns out to be accurate, if it can be independently verified, it will be quite significant. What Ukrainian officials are saying is that they used missiles to strike this major Russian warship, the jewel of the fleet in the Black Sea, the Moskva. Now, we do know that both sides are saying, both Russia and Ukraine say there is significant damage to the warship. Ukraine claims that it is responsible for that damage. Hundreds of people had to be evacuated from that ship, and there was significant damage to it. Russia says there was a fire on board and that the fire led to an explosion, and that was the source of the damage to this ship. Either way, both sides seem to at least agree that there is damage to the ship. Now, why is this so significant, and why are we standing in front of a liquor store with a billboard with profanity behind me? Well, this is one of the ships that was involved in the Snake Island incident. People will remember back in February, Russian ships approached an island that had Ukrainian soldiers on that island, and they spoke over radio saying, "We are a Russian warship, surrender or you will be bombed." And then there was that response from the Ukrainian soldier that has really symbolized Ukraine's resistance. The phrase, "Russian warship, go blank yourself." That's what it says behind me. That has become a rallying cry for the Ukrainian people. And if one of those ships involved in that mission, if Ukraine has been able to destroy that, that will be a significant symbolic moment for Ukraine 50 days into this war.
Katie, yes, we'll definitely continue to follow developments as further word comes in from both sides today. We are as well tracking what is happening in Mariupol. And let's go back to those pictures of what seemed to be, according to Russia, Ukrainian soldiers surrendering. We were reporting this yesterday, the major surrender by Ukrainian forces. There is still some confusion and some questioning over what has actually happened in Mariupol. So what is the latest that you're hearing there?
Everything is so difficult to independently verify, Heather, because news crews can't get in there, and you have to be able to independently verify those major developments, whether it is the surrendering of Ukrainian soldiers, whether that is actually true, whether it's the attack on this warship, whether that's actually true. It's so difficult to verify because there aren't independent news reporters in those regions because it is so dangerous right now. So everyone is waiting for official word or evidence to prove what is going on in Mariupol. Of course, the battle for that city is one of the most intense in this country right now. Ukrainian soldiers have been desperately trying to hold on as Russian forces have been continually bombing it, continually engaging in heavy ground fights. And so everyone is waiting for official word or some sort of evidence to prove what is going on the ground there. And forgive me, Heather, we're sort of in the sunshine, so my eye is watering, so forgive me there.
Not a problem at all. And what a great backdrop for your reporting today. I was thinking about the stamp they issued that said the same image and the same message there. It's been obviously, as you say, big rallying cry. And Katie, you got it right there. Thank you so much, Katie Simpson. I appreciate it.
No, so yeah, when you go into the liquor store,
yes?
they give you this. They give you one of these when you go into the liquor store.
Very interesting. We'll be following it closely with you. Thanks for starting our coverage today, Katie Simpson. And again, as we continue to bring you the latest, even as Katie was reporting, we're getting some new information on this. The Russian version was that it was a fire, but Ukraine now, according to reports coming out of the country and the military, saying the ship, in fact, only started to sink after it was on fire, after it was hit, and then the ammunition exploded, and that's when it started to sink, that it struck the ship, the Moskva, with a Neptune missile, and the ship sustained significant damage. This is what it looked like beforehand. As we said, the jewel, really, of Russia's Navy in that part of the world. So we'll continue to follow this very, very closely today.